Okay, so I said I was going to get into it, so let's get into it. Growing a following. Yes. It is a snowball. It is snowing outside. And I heard this analogy from a coach a long time ago, and that is that it's a snowball and it grows gradually over time. Okay? What you want to do is make sure that you are optimizing your chances to getting followers. That follows. That means every single piece of content that you put out needs to be something of value. You need to have page curation, especially if you haven't got to 1,000. Go to my Instagram and you can check out how my page is curated, meaning it's a guide. Okay, I just don't post all willy-nilly, meaning like you'll see the layout. Page curation for me means page layout. It's a guide so that when you go onto my page, it's like a resource and you can click on anything, and the layout is very clear, not confusing at all. You know what you're clicking on, and when you click on it, which is number 2 to optimizing, you're getting something that is either going to entertain you or educate you, or both. 9 times out of 10 on my page, it's going to be to educate, right? Because we're small businesses with big dreams. We try to get it, okay? We're trying to get it. So I educate on the things that I've learned, things that I've observed, things that I'm working on, and all of that jazz. And I like to lay it out nice and clean. Boom, page curation. You've seen it before, but this is what it is, and you want to start doing that too to optimize. Now, other thing, yeah, for growing following, getting into the mindset that it takes is that you have to be consistent, okay? I'll say when I first started my business 2 years ago, the art one, it was it took me 3 months until I saw my first sale of like hardcore content, getting to know my audience, every single person that followed. Hey, how are you? Welcome, kind of like a greeting into the store, da da da. I will even admit that I went way too hard in the DMs at first. Like, I was like, how are you? And I'm checking up on you, da da da. And that was something else that I learned, which also goes to sometimes you just got to do what you feel is best, but you don't know what's best until you try. And that is not it. Okay, so anyhow, I just had to let that out. And just in case y'all are doing that too, like falling too hard into the DMs, don't do it. Okay, say hello, how are you, welcome, and then use your content to create room and opportunity for them to reach out to you for anything else, any questions that they have. Because your DMs, you want to make it open, right, in a place where they can communicate with you. So you can put that in your content. You don't have to reach out to them all the time. So then that brings me to, yeah, I mentioned this in another piece of content. Literally every celebrity, every big business, every literally anything that you can think of that's just like, wow, how do they have so many followers? They started at 0. Okay, and if they came onto any social media platform, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn, and they had a huge following from day one, it's because they've worked on that following somewhere else for some amount of time. Okay, let's take and that would be weird. I was about to say, let's take Netflix, for example. That's a company. Well, let's take Netflix, for example. Okay, Netflix, when they first came out, Netflix who, right? They first, I don't know what their first initial Instagram page is. This is a really just vague example, but it's true because it's the overall gist of what a following growing a following looks like. When they first came out, they were competing with Redbox, selling their things door to door or whatever. Meaning like they would deliver you movies. They didn't even have streaming, right? And then they came out with streaming, and their following grew from that. And then they took to Netflix, and they came out with their campaign, and they have Netflix Soul something, just different, like 4 or 5 different ones. And they grew those when they first came out. People didn't know what it was. It took content. It took marketing, advertisement to get people to go to those pages and follow it, and it grew gradually over time. And guess what they're at right now, they will not be at next year because it's constantly growing. Same for you. Everybody starts at 0 in some form or fashion. You have, and what makes a person go from 0 to a lot is that they don't stop going, and they don't stop going with quality content. Don't just post to post. If the goal is to grow, you're business and your social media page, it needs to be a full force of consistency, just nonstop, going, until you reach your goal, which honestly, if you're building a small business, you want to lay a great solid foundation, and it'll never stop if the foundation is solid, if that makes sense, because you want it to continue to grow over time. So that's really what I wanted to say about this overall, is it takes time. It's a snowball. And sometimes when I say it's a snowball, it's like it doesn't land like it should. This is so it lands like it should. It's the full explanation of when I say content, social media growth is like a snowball. Again, it grows gradually over time, and that is how you will turn your small businesses into a fruition of the full big dream that you have for it. Because content, social media, all of it is very important, especially with Web3 coming. You better get it together and understand it, because we got a whole nother monster right there. That monster right there. It's a beautiful monster. Web3, Oculus, is coming very soon. I mean, not coming soon. It's here, but it's not big. But by next year, it's going to be big and even bigger. That's another page that you can take. For example, you study it and look at it, probably small followers, going to be a massive following a year from now. You know what I'm saying? And even more later and later. So, all right, that's it. Peace. Talk to you later. Bye.